Today is August 8, 2015, and we are very happy to have in the studios Mr. John Grimes from USA. Mr. John came to Bhagawan way back in the 70s when there were very few devotees from the Western Hemisphere in Prasanthi Nilayam. The last time he was here, he shared with us about his journey to Bhagawan and those priceless moments that they have spent in the divine physical proximity of Bhagawan in the 70s and early 80s. He also mentioned about a Ganesha pendant which Bhagawan had materialized for him, which is exquisite in its design. And today, on our request, he is with us to share about those Ganesha moments with Bhagawan. Welcome, Mr. John, to the studios of Radio Sai.
Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Let us offer our salutations to Lord Ganapati, who is but one of the myriad names and forms of our beloved Lord, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I have 3 stories to tell about Ganesha, and to set the scene, I came to Swami in 1971. I'm an American. I grew up until almost the day I heard of Baba without knowing about Murtis, names and forms of the images of the gods and goddesses they have in India. Knowing this, in 71 or 72, there were no surrounding walls in the ashram. There were no rooms. Mr. Kasturi had a room, but almost no one. There were no rooms. And the gents slept under the trees, and we bathed in the river. And every day was front row darshan, except Thursdays and Sundays. So there was no problem about being in the front row. One day Swami came out, walked up to me, and looked me in the eyes for must have been 3 or 4 seconds. And then he lifted up his hand, and I looked down, and he had a Ganesha coin. I don't know how to tell you the size in India. It's about the size of an American silver dollar. Mm-hmm. And he looked at the coin for 2, 3, sometimes maybe 4 seconds, staring at the coin. He would look up and look in my eyes. 2, 3, 4 seconds, back to the coin, back to my eyes. He must have done that 8, 9, 10 times. And then he said, hands. And I put out my hands, I cupped the hands. He put the coin in my hand, and he waved his hand and covered it in vibhuti. And he walked off. Almost 40 years later, it was 3 years ago, I had a dream. And in the dream, Swami came and said, the Ganesha coin? Yes, Baba. I want you to get a silver cup and a silver spoon and put the coin inside of the cup, cover it with water. Every day, take 3 sips from the spoon of the water and chant the mantra as you do it, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Story number 1. Story number 2 was about 25 years ago. I was a professor in America, and I was asked to do some 2-day courses on Ganapati. So I thought I'd better do research because none of the Murtis was that interesting to me. I liked the non-dual reality and Swami. And so I came to Maharashtra, and there's Ashtaganapati, 8 temples laid out in like a mandala around Pune. It maybe is 400 kilometers total. Myself and my family, we went to all 8 of the Ashtaganapatis. And then we came to a Samadhi shrine of a yogi, and next to the Samadhi shrine, they had built an underground meditation cave. And so I went into the cave, and in the cave, there were pillows on the ground, and one little teeny oil lamp up on the front wall. No Murtis in the cave. I sat down, my eyes adjusted, and leaning against the front wall was Ganapati. 5, maybe 6 feet. I'm sitting, he's standing. And he has his right leg over his left leg, like Krishna used to do. And he has his right hand in a Abhaya Mudra, left hand holding the gada. And I look at him, and by now I've done lots of research on Ganapati. The one thing I noticed was he had huge dark brown eyes, and I thought iconographically this is not right. Ganapati has little teeny eyes. Elephants have a huge head, little eyes. And I'm looking at him. He has a crown on his head. He has a necklace around his neck. He has on a yellow dhoti. His extremities up to the neck are gray, and the head is a reddish color. And I'm looking at him, and I can see he's looking at me. I'm looking into his eyes. He's looking into my eyes as if, am I really seeing you? And he's looking at me, am I really seeing you? And he had a Abhaya mudra. He dropped his fingers, and only the baby finger was up. And he started to wiggle it, and around the finger got a chakra, a wheel of light. And sitting on the wheel were yogis in Padmasana. And he flicked his finger, and probably from me, double where you are, he was. The chakra flew across the room, and as it flew across the room, the yogis flew off of the chakra like centrifugal force.
So this was a vision?
This was a vision. I'm watching this, and I have so much time, I can keep, is he really there? I can close my eyes, I can open my eyes. The yogis flew off and popped like bubbles. And the chakra came around and hit me in the forehead. I was filled with ecstasy for the next 36 hours. That's not the end of the story. I was told that this Samadhi shrine, there is a Artarva priest coming from Sathya, whose family are also Ganesha Upasakas. They do Ganesha worship. I can ask questions if I want. So the next day he came, and he said, what are your questions? And I said, one question. Do you know of a two-armed form of Ganapati, right hand Abhaya mudra, left hand holding the gada, the club? And he looked at me and said, how do you know of this Ganapati? I said, I won't tell you. What do you know? If you look at all the iconography of Ganapati, there's 32 classic ones. They all have four hands or more. There's only one two-armed Ganapati in all of India that I know of in Karnataka. It's the one where Ravana asked him to hold the lingam and don't put it down, because if you do, it won't move. And the minute Ravana went off to do his toiletries, Ganapati put it down. That's the only two-armed Ganapati we know of in India. So again, he asked me, how do you know of this Ganapati? I said, I won't tell you. What do you know? There are two Puranas to Ganapati. Vyasa wrote Ganesha Purana. A sage called Modgala wrote the Modgala Purana, which is also on Ganesha. It says in the Modgala Purana, in the Kali Yuga, Ganapati will be very famous as Mahaganapati, four arms. Usually Ankusha, Pasha, Modika, Abhaya mudra. Sometimes instead of Modika, he's holding one of the tusks, but four-arm Mahaganapati. But late in Kali Yuga, he will take an avatar with two arms. One arm, Abhaya mudra, other hand, holding the gada. My question was, how is it possible I can see such a thing? Never heard of it. I've never read about it. I've never seen iconography of it. But it's written about in a Purana. He will be coming late in Kali Yuga. I found that most fascinating, and I have no idea how to explain how it took place, but it took place. The third one is to do with this pendant. When I came to Swami in 71, his first words to me on darshan line, first darshan, new boy, want nothing. And I started to say, but Swami, shouldn't I want spirituality? Shouldn't I want you? And I couldn't even get the words out, and he said, nothing. Want nothing. Let it all go. And he walked off. That was my first darshan. To this day, there's probably not a day goes by that I don't think about that. Want nothing. Let it all go. So anyway, just set the scene. I think it was 1978, because I started my PhD in Indian philosophy in Chennai, which Swami sent me to do. And I came on the weekends to either Puttaparthi or to Vrindavan. And it was in Vrindavan, and I used to live in the Sai Center in Santa Barbara. And I met one of the people from Santa Barbara, and she had brought a group of people, 10, 11, 12 people, and she said, John, tomorrow we're having interview. Come to the gate 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, very nice. So we come up. I brought my wife and little baby boy, our son, and she was in the back, and we went in for the interview, and at the door I said, Swami, my wife and child. Yes, yes, I know. You go inside. Went in. He had me sit down next to him. He materializes a ring for one of the people in the hall. He looks at me and says, you want it? No, Swami, I want you. Good boy. He gives it out. Materializes another ring. You want it? No, Swami, I want you. And I'm sitting next to him, and I've seen him make a lot of things. Most of the things he makes, from an American's perspective, are not aesthetically that beautiful. They may have a use. They will protect you, many uses of the items he makes. But aesthetically, they're a bit crude.
That's what you thought.
That's what I thought. I'm sitting next to him. Now, I've been next to him many a time. I have a thought, and he's talking. He stops, he turns, he looks at me, he answers my thought, he picks up where he was talking, and continues. This is my experience. I know he knows what I'm thinking. But somehow I'm having a thought, Swami, you really don't make very beautiful aesthetic things. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you this. And so he waves his hand, and he makes the most gorgeous ring I have ever seen him make. Gorgeous. And he looks at me and says, you want? I said, no, Swami, I want you. And he said, good boy, and he gave it to one of the ladies from Santa Barbara. And then he kind of peeked out of the side with his eyes and looked at me and waved his hand. And out came a pendant. And it was a Ganapati pendant. And one must see it to see how unbelievably gorgeous. You want to hold?
No, you can hold it.
Oh, yeah, okay. It has diamonds, it has rubies, it has a musica, a mouse. It's exquisitely, aesthetically gorgeous.
Amazing.
And
there
he
are
said,
rubies and white stones.
and yeah,
they're diamonds,
white stones. Right? I'm assuming they're diamonds. I would never take it to a jeweler. But I'm assuming it has
really
diamonds and rubies.
Such a beautiful piece of
And
creation.
this morning someone told me even the chain is quite unusual. It came as a one piece, the Ganapati with the chain. And he said, Chinnakata, small story. There was a guru, and a devotee came and said, I would like to surrender to you, totally surrender to you. Guru said, okay. Guru picked up a club and started beating the devotee. And the devotee hunched down to protect himself, and the Guru said, get out. A couple days later, the devotee came back. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't prepared for what happened, but now I'm prepared. Please accept me. I'm surrendering to you. And the Guru picked up the club and started beating him, and he let him beat him. And he's getting beaten everywhere, and the Guru says, get out. He thinks about it, he thinks about it. He comes back a couple days later and says, I'm sorry, I'm now ready. The Guru picks up the club and starts to beat him, and he protects him as the Guru's trying to beat. And the Guru says, sit down, you're now my disciple. And the wife said, what happened? You beat him the first day, he protected himself, and you threw him out. Second day, you beat him, he let you beat him, you threw him out. Today again, he protected himself. No, he was protecting me. He has surrendered to me, and that shows he's really surrendered to me. he's not protecting himself anymore. He's protecting, that is a disciple. And then Swami kind of looked at me out of his eye with a little smile on his face, and I was thinking about, I have no proof, but Abhaya Mudra and the Gada. When you're in Swami's presence and you're aware of Abhaya Mudra, you have no fear. You feel like you're in God's love and there's no problems anywhere. But when you don't have that thought, it's not your experience, the club is picked up and you get beat. And it's my impression, and maybe we'll talk about it later, those beats are Swami's prasad. Your karma is God's grace to you to always have the experience of, have no fear. Divyatma Swaruplara, you are the divine Atman. And I think he was referring that day what happened 25 years earlier about the Gada and the Abhaya Mudra. So that is the story of the pendant.
I think after that you never ever questioned Swami's creations, right?
I don't question his creations, but sometimes your mind, your intellect, is wondering about something. And the thought came. I would like to say it's part of Swami's Leela.
Yes.
If he gives us everything, he also had to give me that thought. He gave me the coin, he gave me the vision, he gave me the pendant, he must have also given me the thought. And off of the thought, we get to your point, never again will you now question. You may have understood it intellectually, but it popped out one more time. After that experience, it's not going to pop out again.
Faith is strengthened.
Faith has become so strong, there's no question anymore. That's a very good point.